Hey everybody, welcome back for another memory keeping plan with me. I decided I'm just going to film this one talk through instead of doing a voiceover just to save myself a step today. We're going to get into February finally. It's about to be April, so not a whole lot happened in February. It's basically just being back to work and then seeing friends a lot. So hopefully I can get through these next few weeks pretty quickly. So I have my character stickers pulled already. We're going to go ahead and use the Prosperity kit from Cinderella Paper. This is a Lunar New Year themed kit, and obviously Lunar New Year was like 2 weeks before this. Yeah, so like started on January 22nd. But I was on my honeymoon then, and then after that I was celebrating my cat's anniversary. So that is why I'm using this a couple weeks late. But I believe the Lunar New Year season was still going on. So I definitely wanted to commemorate it somehow, but this was the space that I had to do it. So I didn't have, this is like the first week in 2023, I'm not going to use like a ton of foil, whether it's underlays, overlays, or whatever. So I don't have any underlays or overlays this week. We're going back to basics with just a kit. And I do have these corners, these gold foiled corners, and as you can see, I tried to pick gold foil here because that goes with the Lunar New Year as well. I think gold is part of the traditions and all of that. So that's the little bit of gold that we're going to use. So we've got lots of full box options, which is really nice. So we've got the main full boxes. We got 2 sheets that are functional, another functional sheet, more full boxes, another full box, glitters, and the bottom washi. So let me go ahead and take my thumbnail picture, and then we will dive into putting down the base. I'm going to speed through the base, and then I'll come back and talk to you when we are filming the day by day. Just kind of a foreshadowing, this week was not so great. We had a funeral to go to, and then some other stuff happened as well. The end of the week was good because we met up with some friends for a game night, but this was not a great week. So I feel bad kind of using a celebratory kit for that because like I want to do Lunar New Year justice, but this is the space I had to use this kit, and unfortunately it just happened to fall during a week that wasn't so great. Alright, so that is the base, and I'm not sure if this is picking up on camera, but I basically took one of each of these corners from Plan a Hannah and put them on each of the boxes just to have a little bit of gold foil in there. So let's go ahead and get into the day by day. My habit trackers are for flossing, skincare, and then I like to do a dinner sidebar. Sometimes I'll put a half box over here in the corner, but for this week, there was nothing to mark in a half box, so I'm just gonna leave it blank. Okay, so going into the day by day, Monday started off with me doing some housekeeping, and one thing I did was I took out all of the cards that we got at our wedding, or that got sent in the mail after our wedding, and displayed them in our house along with the wooden initials that were on our sweetheart table at the wedding. Just something that I wanted to do, so I thought it was cute, and we still have it up to this day. So there's that. That sticker is from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. It's little Molly as a postage stamp. And then I did some work. So I have this little tablet foiled icon from Plannahannah. I don't have a tablet, but what I was doing this day was going through my first day surveys that I collected from my students and answering all of the frequently asked questions. So I thought that represented it because everything was done on paper initially. Then I did a little bit of a workout, and I'm kind of regretting pulling this sticker because it's orange next to orange, but it's fine. I'm not going to put anything behind this. I'm just going to put it in. So I worked out. That is a really old sticker from Oh Hello Co. And then it was rainy this day. Not like super rainy, just a little drizzly. But I've kind of been keeping track of how often it rains. Can I move this? I feel like this is not going to. Oh, no, it might. I've just been keeping track of like how much it rains this year, just to see how frequently it's happening each week. So I have this Molly rainy day sticker, also from Itty Bitty Sticker Co., just to mark that it was a little drizzly this day. And then another thing that I did was set up my annual budget. I hadn't done this yet because we were just so busy at the beginning of the year, but I finally had time to sit down and do this. Now that my husband and I are married, we are talking about like how to make things combined in a way that makes sense for us. But I was just setting up the annual budget that I have been for the last few years, just based on my income, just to get a picture of like how much money can I save this year feasibly. So I've shared that with him at this point, and we'll probably create our own at some point this year, like together, but not exactly sure how that's working just yet. We need to sit down and talk about it. We are definitely taking like baby steps when it comes to figuring out our married life. Things have been working so far, so it's kind of like, how much do we really want to change now that we're married? But we are starting to make more joint decisions. Anyway, so for that I have this really old Oh Hello Co. icon, and then I was just sad again this day. I'm really not sure why. I was sad the day before as well. I think, again, it might have just been coming down from like the high of everything. So I'm going to find, I think, like a third box, which is kind of a lot, just to mark that I was a little sad. But, you know, oh well. Let's use this color. Yeah, like I said, not a lot happened this week, and the stuff that did happen wasn't great. It wasn't, or I'm not going to say it wasn't good. Well, it wasn't good. It didn't help anything. So I have that Once More with Love Munchkin for feeling a little sad. And then we watched the Game Grumps 10-minute power hour on YouTube together this night. This is an old little thing from an old Cinderella paper kit. Tuesday, how many things do I have to mark? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So same as Monday. I marked that it was 10 days since we got off the plane from Hawaii. And again, the only reason I'm marking stuff like that lately is just to like monitor myself for COVID, basically. And again, I didn't have COVID this time either. So let's just use one of these for that. Let's see. Actually, I'm not going to use that because I do want to use one of the square boxes for work this day. So which square box do I want to use? I guess the yellow. Yeah. Where am I starting? 1, 2. We're going over here. So that'll be for teaching eventually. Let's put in a little thing above that. Let's use this color since we haven't used it yet. I do miss the patterned little things that she had in the last format of the kit, but oh well. And actually that orange label might fit after all. Yeah, totally will. Okay. For some reason, I thought it was not going to fit, but it will. There we go. So I have this heart icon. This is like left over from a cat buns kit, I think. And then I'm marking that my husband worked from the office this day. So I have a little gold car icon from Planet Hannah. And then I have this teacher Molly to mark that I went to work and taught all 4 of my classes this day. There's a hair underneath. I hate when hairs get stuck under the foiled icons because they're so hard to pick up. So we'll just use that. And then I ran into a couple of my friends this day, which was exciting because on my current schedule, I like never run into anybody who I know. It's a little sad. I feel a little lonely sometimes. I'm fine. It's just, I miss seeing people. I feel kind of like I'd never see anybody right now. At work anyway. So I'm gonna put in a little third box for that. So I ran into a couple of my coworkers / friends / we went to grad school together. And then my car apparently hit 200,000 miles this day. I have a 2006 Hyundai Sonata, and I was gonna say she, although my car is named Toothless after How to Train Your Dragon, so I guess it's a boy. But then I call it she. Obviously, my car doesn't actually have a gender, so it doesn't really matter, but anyway. So I don't think I realized that the odometer went over 200,000 this day. What happened, so the next thing I'm gonna mark will explain this. What happened like later in the week was that my husband had to borrow my car to go to work. So I noticed it after he was driving it, and he was like, no, it was already over 200K before I started driving it. I'm like, okay, so it must have happened this day. And I just didn't notice. Okay, so the next part is where the week really starts to go awry. It's like I'm feeling sad for little to no reason over here, and then the next few days are like real reasons to be upset. So my husband went out after work this night, which he doesn't normally do, but one of his friends was in town visiting from Taiwan, I think, and they went out, and then suddenly at like, I want to say like 8 o'clock, my husband calls me. He's upset. Someone broke into his car when he was in LA and stole some stuff, so that's bad. Obviously. I don't know why I had to say that's bad. You know that's bad. So that really stressed him out and caused a lot of issues over the next few weeks. So that was really unfortunate. I'm trying to find the label that I want to use here. It's like, how important of a label do I really want to use for my husband's car getting broken into? So I have this. But yeah, he was pretty upset. He had like thought that the stuff he had in his car was not visible, and it wasn't, but people are really brazen lately. So I'm gonna put in a sticker for that, but then I'm also gonna put in a piece of washi and a little script that says a bad day is just a day. You know, I wish days, like bad days, were limited to just the day they happened in. Obviously, they still have effects that are far-reaching after the fact. But I try to tell myself and other people who are having a bad day, you know, a bad day is just a day. We're gonna get through it. So I have Molly in a dumpster fire from Anybody Sticker Co. for my husband's car getting broken into. And then I have this script that says a bad day is just a day. That is from Planet Hannah. So that's Tuesday. Unfortunately, a little more eventful than we bargained for. Moving on to Wednesday, the first thing I wanted to mark is that this was, of course, the start of Black History Month. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Cool. I have to still like count when or how many items I'm marking each day. So I'm going to go ahead and use this. I decided not to use this scene box. It just wasn't like my favorite. I'll save these leftovers for next year because there's so many fashion girls in the kit that I feel like I'll be able to use it next year as well. But anyway, I have this little character from Beneva Creations to mark the start of Black History Month. And then my husband also went to the office this day. I think he took his car this day, even though so what happened was they smashed one of the side windows open. So he drove like an hour and a half to work with a busted out window, which on the freeway is just horrible. So then after this point, I think the next week I had him borrow my car. Or I honestly can't remember. I feel like he took his car this day. And then I was like, just take my car. I don't need it, like, on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. He only goes to the office on Tuesday and Wednesday anyway. Let's see here. Let's use this. I have bills due to mark here, so I'm trying to figure that out. Yeah, let's do this. So yeah, I think the next week, until he got his car fixed, which might have been the next week. But he also had places to go on the weekend, I think, like to run errands and stuff. So he was driving my car around, which is totally fine because my car is not in the greatest shape, but the engine still goes really nicely. So anyway, that's to mark that he went to work. And then, of course, rent was due and payment on my credit card was due. And then I filmed a haul, so I'm just going to use another little thing, I think. Yeah, why not? Was this this must have been my January haul? I guess so, because this was February 1st. I'm so disoriented as to like where we are in time lately. So that camcorder is from Plannahannah. And then I had grading to do, so yeah, because I think my students had turned in their first like mini assignment at this point. So I'm gonna use a half box for that, or I can't tell if this is a half box, but it might be, just because that took up a good chunk of my day. So I have this laptop sticker from Carly Plans. And then another thing that I did this day was clean my wedding dress, just kind of spot clean it, because it had been sitting around for a little bit, and we knew we were gonna do photos again with our photographer. And the rain actually left a lot of stains on it, like on the very bottom of it. It was pretty easy to get out. There was also a stain on my veil, which did not come out, unfortunately. But yeah, I was just spot cleaning, basically like dirty water from the bottom of my wedding dress. What's funny is that then we went to the beach like a month and a half after this point, and you would think that would get, all the sand would get my dress really dirty, but then I looked at it and there were no stains anywhere. So that was kind of weird. It's like, oh, the rain is like worse for it than the beach, which I thought was really funny. Okay, I'm gonna use an orange glitter label. It took a lot of time to figure out what label. Oh, it's working out really the last thing I had to mark this day? Interesting. You know what probably happened is that my husband was probably still really upset when he came home from work this night, kind of dealing with the aftermath of getting his car broken into. So we probably just like had a long talk this night instead of like watching TV or doing anything else. So that bride icon is from Plannahannah. I think it's the very last one that I have. And then this workout sticker is old. It's from, oh, Hello Co. I keep wanting to say Scribble Prints Co., which is not accurate. All right, so Thursday of this week was the day that we had already planned on not being like a fun day because we knew we had to go to a funeral this day. It's just all this other stuff that happened around it. I mean, life happens, you know? So I broke the funeral up into like 3 things instead of just marking it as one, because otherwise I would just have 4 things to mark on Thursday. I was able to cancel my classes this day. I had to use my personal holiday at work to go to this because it wasn't an immediate family member, which I disagree with, but oh well. I don't make our bargaining contract. The funeral was for my husband's cousin who passed away right before Christmas. Okay, so we're gonna mark that it was Groundhog Day because I have a sticker for it. So I think I'm gonna use a piece of washi. This sticker is from Once More with Love. I'm gonna use this patterned washi. It was Groundhog Day. I saw groundhogs when I went to Pennsylvania last year. They're very cute. Not nearly, the ones I saw were not nearly as large as, what's his name, Punxsutawney Phil, Pete, I don't know what his name is. You let me know. And then we went to the funeral. So we didn't go to the burial because that was the next day. It was a Catholic funeral. So this day was like the mass and the reception, and then they were going to the cemetery this day, but my husband had to go to work this day. So we didn't go to that part. Okay. So I think I'm going to write funeral, rosary, and mass because they combined those two things together. A lot of the times they'll have the rosary the night before. I only know this because I was raised Catholic, but I guess they just decided to have the rosary right before the funeral mass. So I'm going to mark that it was the funeral, the rosary, and the mass, and then the reception afterwards. Okay, sorry, I was over-explaining that. So I'm going to go ahead and use a pattern. Let's use, I think I like this pattern, just to mark that this day was about Christopher. It was good to meet, finally, a lot of my husband's father's family. I have not met them for reasons that I'm not going to get into because it's none of my business, but I know like everyone on my husband's mother's side and not a lot of people on his father's side. So I met a bunch of them. The sad part about that is that I also met my husband's other cousin, who was the person who passed away, his younger brother. And now we're at the beginning of April or end of March, and he suddenly passed away. Both of these people are in their 30s, so it's kind of a tough situation that the family is in right now, and I really feel for them. At the same time, I have never met any of these people, and I'm at this funeral to support my husband, and so I didn't want to like intrude, you know? So it's kind of navigating all of that. That's from Once More with Love, that's from Oh Hello, and then the sandwich sticker is from Beneva Creations. I'm sorry if I'm not explaining all of this very clearly. It's tough situation everybody's in right now. But all of this to say that the two men who have passed away in the last few months are the cousins that my husband really grew up with because they're close in age. My husband's like one of the younger people in his family, in his generation. So these were like the cousins who were closest in age to him. So it's just odd to think about how I met that person and then like not long after he's no longer with us. So I marked the reception after the funeral mass with a sandwich because we're sandwiches, I don't know. And then I came home and did a little bit of work, even though I ended up having to use my personal holiday, so, but it's fine. I did a little bit of work to grade some things for my students so that they could have them back quickly. I've been trying to be better about keeping up on grading. This icon is from Plana Hannah. And then at the end of the day, we watched Game Grumps on YouTube. So I think I'm gonna use, let's use this red glitter. Doesn't really, the spacing here is not great. I'm still getting used to like not marking a million things because I feel like January there were a lot of things to mark. And now that I'm back to work, or actually not even just January, I feel like, oops, I picked that up badly. The last like several months, because we've been doing so much wedding planning, I am ruining this sticker, but we're just gonna live with it. I've just been marking so many things in my planner because I want to remember like every little thing, and now I'm like, well, I'm not wedding planning anymore, so what do I put in my planner? I'll figure it out. And actually it's nice to not have to like cram everything in and only have a few things to mark each day. All right, so that is the end of Thursday. Moving on to Friday. Oh, wait. My husband was off this day. Now I can't remember why we didn't go to the cemetery. Anyway, he was off this day. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things to mark. Okay, so we're gonna mark that he was off. I'm gonna start with this label. I had work to do, so I'm going to pull a label for that. Let's use this one. And then we cleaned up the house because we had people coming over this evening, which was very exciting because we we very rarely have people over. We're trying to get back into the routine of doing that now that I won't say the pandemic's over because it's really not ever going to be, but we have as much medication and as many vaccinations as we're probably ever going to get. So still trying to get back in the routine of hosting people. So I was doing work, I was lesson planning and grading, so that icon's from Planet Hannah. And then, like I said, we cleaned up the house. So I have this vacuum. This is really old. This was from an Odd Loop kit from a long time ago, but I thought it matched all of the colors really nicely. Then I edited and posted my haul. So that must have been the December-January haul, I guess. So I have this icon from Planet Hannah. It's like YouTube editing clapper, film clapper situation. And then I did my February budget finally, 3 days into February. I think I was waiting to see what my husband was up to. And then kind of like filling him in on what was going on. Let's use this. And then I also wanted to mark, because I'm a planner nerd, that I believe this was the day Nayeli from 2 Cats and a Planner. She has 2 cats and a planner. So if you like cats and you like planners, you should be following her here and on Instagram. This was the day that she got married, which is so cute. So I'm going to mark that. And let's do the yellow. Because this was kind of a rough week, so let's mark the happy things that happened too. Oh, but I'm going to need space there, so I might need to move that up. Because what happened after that was that my husband's friend AJ and his boyfriend Matt came over. And I've met AJ before, but I didn't meet Matt until he came to our wedding. So, and he was a lot of fun at our wedding. So that was great. And I did not know that he works in the same field as I do. So that was cool to find out. Basically, we were hosting them this night because AJ wasn't able to go. Oh my God, can you please come off the paper? AJ wasn't able to go to my husband's bachelor party back in December. So my husband was like, oh, come over and we'll make dinner and we'll do board games because they love board games. I'm not like a super board game person, but okay, you know what I'm going to do here? This will still be for Nayeli. But I think I need to do a smaller label here. So let me try and locate one. I feel like there's a lot of stuff that I used to use from these kits that is no longer present. What can I use? Or do I have to cram this in here? Move this up. Anyway, so this was just a makeup for missing the bachelor party. So Nathan made beef burgundy, and then we played some board games. So they brought Sequence, which I had never played before, which was pretty easy to pick up. And then we played Codenames as well, which I have played before. But it turns out it's a lot more fun with more than just 2 people, because they have a 2-player version, and I don't feel like I liked it very much. But with 4 people, it's a little more interesting. So that's from Odd Loop, that's from Itty Bitty Sticker Co., and then this game night sticker is also from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. All right, Saturday we only got 5 things to mark, so this should be interesting. I had to do laundry, so that's gonna get a big box since not a lot happened this day. So I pull in, actually, let's pull in a pattern box if we're gonna have a box that big. I try to use the pattern stuff first because like it's not as reusable, you know what I mean? So I feel like I did a lot of laundry this day too. So this is a really old icon from, I have no idea where, but I did laundry, and I think there's a laundry script in the kit actually. Yeah. So let's do that. Oh, and I can use the day off script for Nathan's day off that I forgot about. And then I think payday was on the 1st. My paydays are supposed to be on the 1st until suddenly they're not. Yeah, I got paid on the 1st. So just use up the scripts there. And then I pulled a bunch of stickers for a plan with me in December because that's how far behind I was at this point. So we're gonna pull in a label for that. And then this planner sticker is from Carly Plans. And then I played with the cat. So I'm gonna find a label for that. Oops, knocked that off center. Hopefully we're still in frame. Played with the kitty cat. I probably wrote that down because like there was not a lot else to mark. Okay, I'm gonna go here. That's from Carly Plans. And I think I messed this up. So we're just gonna go like this. This is supposed to go sideways, but I don't care. So that's from Itty Bitty Sticker Co., a little peeking out around the corner, Molly. And then we wrote a bunch of thank you notes to our wedding vendors this day. So we did thank yous and tips for all the people who worked at the venue because they're not self-employed. So they don't set the prices for the venue, of course. So we tipped those people for all of their service that day. And so we were late with these because I know a lot of times people will do these at the actual wedding, like the night of, but we just did not have time to go to the bank. So we kind of tried to make it up to them by writing some personal thank you notes to like the banquet captain and the servers and our coordinator and all of that. And so then we are gonna go ahead and drop them off the next day. And then this evening we watched Wakanda Forever. I think I liked the original Black Panther better. I feel like this movie was really hyped up. And it wasn't bad, it just, I don't know. I'm also not a superhero movie person, so take everything I say with a grain of salt. And I don't love the spacing here, but we're just gonna have to live with it. I think I'll pull this up a little bit, move this down. This to-do list icon is from Cinderella Paper, by the way. I didn't have like a writing card icon or writing thank yous, so I thought this fit okay. And then this Black Panther sticker is from Once More with Love. Finally, we got Sunday. There are 6 things to mark. So the first thing was that I filmed quarter 3 of my flip through for my 2022 planner. Moving right along with that. So I think I'm gonna use, let's do some orange. And then we didn't, this looks like we woke right up and dropped off our tips right away. We didn't. This didn't happen until like 3 o'clock, but we did drive all the way down to our venue this day in San Clemente. So like a 45-minute drive, I think, to drop off our tips with our thank you notes. And then after that, we went to OC Tavern and got some pizza. The pizza was not very good, so I wouldn't really recommend going to this place. Yeah, just wasn't exactly what we were hoping for. You know, sometimes buffalo chicken pizza sounds really good to me, and then I order it, or not buffalo chicken, like barbecue chicken pizza sounds good to me, and then I order it and I eat it, and I'm like, just kidding, this is not what I wanted at all. It's just the idea. When I'm really hungry, certain things sound good to me. and then I eat them. I'm like, nope, this was not it. So anyway, for filming, I've got a camcorder from Planet Hannah. For dropping off the tips at our venue with the thank you notes, I have this like macaron sticker from the wedding sheet from Papershire. And then for eating at OC Tavern, I have a pizza sticker from Wonton and a Million. Then we came home and we booked a hotel to go to my brother's graduation in Berkeley in May. So I'm glad we took care of that. It's going to be an exciting time. I always love an excuse to go back to Berkeley. So I'm going to use this box here for that. And then we played Mario Kart. So let's use a glitter for that. And what color do I want? It's hard to tell these two colors apart. Mario Kart will go here. And then the last thing I'm going to mark on Sunday is watching more of the Game Grumps 10-minute power hour. So I guess I'm going to use a yellow icon for that. I'm going to have to move some of these things down. It's so weird only marking 3 things in a box and having no underlay to kind of like fill in the space. I don't mind it. I like this kind of simplified planning. But I'm still working out the spacing, especially with this new format of Cinderella Paper's kits. Okay, so for booking our Berkeley hotel, I have this Molly Goes to the Big City from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. For playing Mario Kart, I have this Princess Peach sticker. I don't know where that's from. I think it came on a freebie. And then for watching Game Grumps 10-minute power hour, I have this gold icon from Planet Hannah. So that's everything for the week. Pretty simple. Let me show you what's left of the kit. So I could definitely save this and use all of this next year. We'll see when Lunar New Year is next year. So I have the scene box and a checklist. I've got washi and class labels. 3 different, I love the different fashion people options with this because you just have more variety. It makes leftovers a lot easier. Lots of glitter stuff, the date covers and some functional bits, more labels and headers, lots of plain labels and headers, and then the pattern labels and not headers, labels and boxes and stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and write everything in with my Zebra Sarasa in the 0.5, and then we'll come back and close out this video. Alright, so that is the week all filled out. I do really like how this week looks, even though it was a less than stellar week as far as what's going on in our lives. Also, I talked about this a few times, how I use my dinners sidebar to like keep track of things that I do or don't want to keep eating. The Trader Joe's lobster ravioli is fine, but it's nothing special. So if you ever see it and you're like curious, it doesn't really taste like anything. Like it doesn't taste offensive, but it also definitely doesn't taste special, even though it looks special. So just wanted to put that out there. I will not be repurchasing that lobster ravioli. It was one of those like, well, let's try it. I've never tried this from Trader Joe's. And then it's like, okay, yeah, we're not buying that again. So anyway, that is the week in full, the first week of February. I hope you enjoyed hearing about my week, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.